I gave 5 Leeds United YouTubers 5 statements to find out if they agree or disagree, to ultimately find out if all Leeds fans think the same. Let's get into it. Leeds have the best fans in England.
Yes, agree. Massively agree, obviously.
Yeah, I agree with that, 100%.
Bias or no bias.
I think it's easy for us to say that being part of it and seeing it every single week.
Well, I would disagree personally on that one. We don't have the best fans in England. We've got the best fans in the world. And let me tell you why. Because even though it may only be 37,600 on a match day, you know, maximum capacity, it makes the sound of 80,000 people. Now, I'm a Southerner myself. I don't know if it's just people from up Yorkshire that I've experienced, but every single match, even when we're poor, even when we're losing, there's a throw-in. They celebrate a throw-in as if it's a goal.
I think you just have to look at attendances down when we're in the doldrums compared to some other teams. Would they get the same numbers? I would argue no. I know Sunderland compete with us, but I would also say they're a great fan base. I think they might have actually passed us in League One for attendances, but their stadium's massive as well. And obviously, I live in the northeast, so I know they're mad for the football, like us Leeds United fans. We've been through a hell of a lot. As mad as it says, I think the Dirty Leeds tag helps that, because we almost feel aggrieved. Oh, we're dirty, we are. Right, okay then. You all hate us, do you? Right, okay then. Well, we're going to stand firm and say, you know what I mean?
When you've had, you know, fans there in League One, you know, 28,000 sort of week in, week out. Yeah, I'd say Leeds are definitely up there. I'd say the rival clubs are definitely Sunderland and Newcastle.
Obviously, we know that Leeds are, even as objectively, are one of the best groups of fans in the country. But I think there's a few groups of fans you can put up there with that, likes of Newcastle, Villa, and probably Liverpool as well.
I think, I know we're obviously biased because we're Leeds fans, but I think even most fans in the country, like I have friends that, you know, support other teams, and they all say that Leeds are right up there. So yeah, 100% agree with that one.
Yeah, screw it. Let's do it. Leeds are the best support in the country. Why not?
Yeah, agree massively. Leeds are the best fans in Europe, in the world.
Next statement. Do you agree or disagree? Man United are Leeds United's biggest rivals.
Yeah, I do agree, but it's hard when you've not been on the same playing field as them for so long, isn't it?
It's depend on the person, doesn't it? But for me, yeah. I hate them. I mean, I live here, and it makes me hate them even more.
It's a tough one, that, because in terms of like location, probably not, but in terms of just how I feel personally, I'm gonna say yeah, I do agree with that.
Oh yeah, I 100% agree with this, bar none. Really, there's no one that comes close to it.
Agree massively. War of the Roses. This goes way back, right? Red versus white. Growing up in Yorkshire as well, I there was quite a few Manchester United fans growing up, actually, and I could never understand it. I was like, why? Why Man United? Yeah, it's deep-rooted. It actually frustrates me, bro, how some Man United fans downplay it. But I know the match-going fans understand the rivalry.
If you're looking at it from the start of Leeds' history to now, I think it's got to be them, hasn't it? When we play against other Yorkshire clubs, we're kind of like, we almost annoy them a little bit by thinking that they're beneath us, which is also quite funny. But I don't think that we ever consider them to be proper rivalries even. It's more that we have rivalries across the Pennines with Man United and stuff like that. So I think, yeah, it's got to be, hasn't it? Got to be that one.
You can just tell that it kind of goes beyond football. Like there's an intense hatred between both clubs. But yeah, I'm always wanting them to lose. And like in European games, for example, I usually want the English team to do well, but in their case, I don't. I always want the other team. So yeah, I agree. In terms of me personally, they're probably the biggest rival for me.
From cradle to grave, I've been brought up to despise them. Like my dad, the extent was this bad, Ollie. My dad was offered tickets to go watch Leeds and Man United in the 90s, and he wouldn't go in the stadium because he couldn't stand them being in our stadium. So that's what I've been brought up with. So yeah, rivalry-wise, it's definitely Man United for me, yeah.
This Leeds United side would beat Bielsa's title-winning team.
Oh,
didn't go there. You didn't go there. You didn't just throw that at me. I could see, as you were starting to say, I could see the cogs turning. I could see that is a naughty one.
Oh, this is a horrible one for me. Because I found myself as well checking myself this season thinking, is this better?
You see, I don't want to like speak bad about the Bielsa team because that was one of the best seasons I've ever witnessed. But yeah, I'm going to agree with that.
It's so hard to compare them to each other. It just, I think
A one-off game.
A one-off game. I think what you have to go off is when Farke had his Norwich team and played against Bielsa and beat Leeds at Elland Road. I think that sometimes styles clash, and whilst Bielsa might have more exciting football throughout the course of a season, Farke might be the bogey team.
I think Bielsa squeezed the juice out of everything in that side, and I wonder how many of that side get into this side. I'd probably shout out Ben White, Pablo Hernandez, Phillips at a push, but him and Ampadu are probably level. I think you'd maybe get two of that side getting into this side right now. So yeah, I'd go with this side. It would beat that side 100%.
If you're talking man for man squad, managerial quality aside, I think this squad would comfortably beat the other team.
And Daniel Farke's beaten, Leeds United's side 3-0. I know we beat him earlier on in the season, but, he won the title over Bielsa. So you could argue that facts and figures probably back it up. So would it beat it in a one-off game? I would probably say yes. As much as that pains me, mate, I would probably say yes, it would.
Kalvin Phillips will return to Leeds United in the next year.
No, I disagree with that.
I'm going to say no.
No, I disagree with that. I don't think he will.
Agree.
Well, listen, Kalvin Phillips will come to Leeds United next year when we get promoted to the Premier League, and he will sit in the best double pivot that Yorkshire's ever seen, England's ever seen, world football has ever seen. You have got the master and the protege. You've got Kalvin Phillips, Archie Gray in the midfield. There is no black and white about it, because that, my friends, is not a prediction. It's a spoiler.
And I know a lot of people disagree, because I know the comments are coming from me now. He's rubbish. He's washed. He's a turncoat. I can see it all now. Just call me Mystic Meg. Like when people say, where's he going to fit in? He's not better than... Come on, man. I'm not saying he's better than Ampadu, but this is Kalvin Phillips. Let's not forget the football that he was playing in the six for Leeds United. Yes, he might not start, but don't tell me Kalvin can't be a decent addition to this Leeds team over 38 games in a Premier League. I won't have it. I know people will disagree, but I think you're all wrong.
I feel like Ampadu, Gruev, Kamara, even Archie Gray, I feel like are just, and again, it's recency, but they just seem like they fit Farke's system better than what Kalvin would. Don't get me wrong, if he came back, I'd welcome him back. He's a Leeds lad. But I just feel like if Leeds want to take that next step, if we get promoted, etc., I just don't see how that move occurs, even from his point of view as well. Just even if you talk wages and if you factor everything like that, contracts, I just don't see how it would occur. I
don't see why we would ever go for Kalvin Phillips. It would make no sense in it. For me, it's purely based on sentiment. So no, I disagree. And I hope they don't go for him as well.
Are we going to want to spend, let's say, 35 million pounds on a player like Kalvin Phillips, who, when you take the history of him with the club out of it, is very injury prone. He's out of form. And you've just been promoted. You've got to be careful with where you spend your money. I feel like potentially we could see him in a couple of years' time, is what I'm going to say. I think within a year is too soon. If we get promoted, I think it's too soon, because I think you need to invest throughout the squad with more signings that probably aren't Kalvin. I mean, literally breaks my heart to say it, because I know you can't really see it properly, but I've literally got signed Kalvin shirt on the wall there. Just, I love the guy, but I just think in that time scale, no.
Right, the last question is, Leeds will win the title.
When's this video going out?
Yes, man, I agree. Massively, Ollie.
Go on then. Yeah, let's have it.
I've been saying a lot on my channel recently that I don't believe we will. And at the minute, I'm going to stand by that.
Disagree. Yeah, I don't. So probably everyone's probably said agree. Yeah, disagree.
If you want one man to get you up, it's Daniel Farke.
I'm predicting that Leicester are going to have a little bit of a turbulent few weeks. Hopefully Ipswich do too, and Leeds can start to build a bit of a gap. And right now, I just feel the urgency is with Leeds, and I don't see any reason why we won't. And I thoroughly believe we will go up as champions.
I think the fact that we've been breathing down Leicester's necks for so long, and the fact that we finally caught them and actually overtaken them, even though they have a game in hand, don't they?
Yeah.
Even though they have a game in hand, I do think that it's psychologically for them. We have caught them. Like, the table doesn't lie. We are above them, even if they've got a game in hand.
I think Leicester will win it, and I think they'll get their you-know-what together. I think they'll win it, and we'll come second, but I don't care about that, to be honest with you, as long as we go up.
I feel like we just need to focus on ourselves. We just need to keep going at the pace and at the rate that we are. I feel like I'm very confident that we'll be able to beat the likes of Ipswich and Southampton to it. I just think Leicester, I know they've had a bit of a dip in form, but I just can see them still winning the league, in all honesty. But it's definitely not out of the realms of possibility. I think it'll be a very close title race regardless.
Just back the team, because you're backing the right horse for me, because the players, the squad, but the main man is Farke. Like, what he's done, Ollie, like, is phenomenal, and I actually love the man, and I'm just hoping that he can make it work in the Prem, because history says he won't, but there is caveats to that. There is context behind that. He'll have backing at Leeds, so let's wait and see and give him time. But yeah, I think the title's ours. I think at the minute we are a steam train that will not be stopped.